FIFA have announced that the winners of Sunday's World Cup final between Spain and Argentina will receive 30 championship rings, and fans are not happy about it. Let's hope that USA get tired of football fast. Utter woke nonsense. What in the actual? Get Infantino out. Game's gone. Those are real comments from real football fans responding to a real announcement that FIFA made on Thursday, July 17th. But here is the other side of that conversation. The players who lifted the Super Bowl trophy, the NBA championship, the Stanley Cup, and the World Series all remember where they were the moment they got their ring far more vividly than they remember any individual match. The ring is the object they hand to their children. The ring is the thing that sits in a glass case in their living room for the rest of their lives. And for the first time in 96 years of World Cup history, football players will have one too. This is the complete story of the most divisive announcement FIFA has made at the 2026 World Cup, and everything else that makes Sunday's final the most American World Cup final in football history. FIFA announced on Thursday, July 16th that the winners of the 2026 World Cup will receive championship rings in addition to the traditional winner's medal and the trophy, the first time such an honor will be presented at a FIFA competition. Here are every confirmed detail. There will be 2,026 individually numbered rings made in total. 30 of those rings will be awarded to the winning team. Each ring will feature the FIFA World Cup trophy on one side, while the other side will be personalized to represent the winning nation. The rings feature a mini World Cup trophy, diamonds, and sapphires. The captain and head coach will each receive temporary rings immediately after the final, with the final customized rings presented at a later date to ensure a personalized fit. Every ring will be individually numbered and accompanied by a certificate of authenticity. The remaining 1,996 rings will be made available to fans worldwide as an official licensed product, allowing supporters to own a unique piece of FIFA World Cup 2026 history. Players will still receive their gold medals individually before lifting the World Cup trophy, preserving one of football's most iconic traditions. The addition of championship rings expands the celebration rather than replacing it. That last detail is the one FIFA wants everyone to focus on. The rings are not replacing anything. The trophy ceremony stays exactly as it has always been. The medals stay. The lap of honor stays. The rings are an addition, a new layer on top of existing tradition. Whether that framing lands with football fans is a different question entirely. The move sees FIFA follow in the footsteps of American sports leagues, which traditionally award championship rings. For anyone unfamiliar with the American sporting tradition FIFA is borrowing from, here's how it works. In the NFL, NBA, MLB, and NHL, championship rings are designed specifically for each winning team each year, incorporating the team's colors, logo, the season year, the specific score of the final game, and in many cases individual player statistics or personalized inscriptions. They are not mass-produced collectibles. They are bespoke jewelry items that function as wearable records of a specific championship. The addition of championship rings introduces a collectible element that mirrors the championship culture scene across major American professional sports. The cultural weight of a championship ring in American sport is enormous and documented. Players who won multiple championships talk about which ring means most to them. Retired athletes are photographed with their rings decades after their playing careers ended. Fans at auctions have paid tens of thousands of dollars for historic rings belonging to players they never met. FIFA is not borrowing a gimmick. It is borrowing one of the most emotionally resonant traditions in world sport and attaching it to the most watched sporting event on the planet. FIFA have announced that the winners of Sunday's World Cup final between Spain and Argentina will receive 30 championship rings, and fans are not happy about it. The comment sections across every major football platform divided almost immediately into two distinct camps, and both camps have a legitimate argument. The first camp is angry. Let's hope that USA get tired of football fast. Utter woke nonsense. What in the actual? Get Infantino out. Game's gone. The underlying feeling in this camp is not really about rings. It is about a broader anxiety that hosting the World Cup in the United States, the country that invented commercial sport, is slowly reshaping football into something that looks and feels more like the NFL and less like the sport that developed organically across 200 countries over a century. The rings are the latest and most visible symbol of that reshaping. The second camp is more comfortable with the change. They point out that players in every other major sport have a physical, permanent, wearable memento of their championship. They point out that the World Cup trophy itself never belongs to the winning nation. It goes back to FIFA after the ceremony. The medals are small and rarely seen. The ring is something a player carries with them for the rest of their life. Both camps are responding to the same announcement from completely different starting points. And that division tells you something important about the tension at the heart of this World Cup. The championship rings are the most discussed American-style addition to the 2026 World Cup final. But they are not the only one. The World Cup final is set to have a 30-minute halftime show, which could easily disrupt the flow of the game and cause issues for players from a sports science perspective. Additionally, the hydration breaks have split the games in a way that critics say resembles tactical timeouts more common in American sports than in international football. The halftime entertainment show brings the Super Bowl template to MetLife Stadium, the same venue that hosts the New York Giants and the New York Jets, the same building where Super Bowl 48 was played in February 2014. The symmetry is intentional. FIFA chose MetLife Stadium for the final specifically because of its size, its location in the New York market, and its status as one of the most recognizable sports venues in the United States. U.S. President Donald Trump is confirmed to attend the final at MetLife Stadium, marking his first appearance at any of the tournament's 102 games. A sitting United States president attending a World Cup final at a stadium in New Jersey, arriving for the final and only match of a tournament hosted in his country, is the most visible possible signal that this World Cup has been shaped around American cultural and political expectations in a way no previous tournament has been. The rings, the halftime show, the hydration breaks, and the president in the front row are not individual decisions. They are a coherent vision of what FIFA believes football needs to do to capture and hold American attention permanently. Before the rings, before the halftime show, before Trump takes his seat, there is a football match on Sunday that is one of the most compelling World Cup finals in recent memory. Argentina secured a thrilling 2-1 comeback when over England in the semifinal, overturning a first-half deficit with Enzo Fernandez scoring the equalizer before Lautaro Martinez netted the stoppage-time winner to send the defending champions into the title clash against Spain. Spain defeated France 2-0 to reach their first final since their 2010 triumph after a composed performance. Argentina are attempting to become the first team to win back-to-back World Cups since Brazil in 1958 and 1962. Spain are attempting to win their second World Cup title and their first since that famous 2010 triumph in South Africa. The final will feature a historic clash between global superstars Lionel Messi and Lamine Yamal, drawing global attention. Messi, 38 years old, widely considered the greatest player in football history, playing what is almost certainly his final competitive match for Argentina, against Lamine Yamal, the 18-year-old Barcelona forward who was born the same year Messi made his Argentina debut, and who is widely considered as heir to the title of the world's best player. The generational handover narrative was already the story of this final before FIFA announced the rings. Now it is the story of this final plus the most American World Cup ceremony in football history. Setting aside the culture war dimension of the debate, which is real but not the most useful lens for evaluating the rings as a standalone idea, there is a genuine case for them that deserves to be made clearly. The World Cup trophy does not belong to the winning team. FIFA retains the original trophy permanently, and winning nations receive a replica. The gold medals are small, rarely photographed after the ceremony, and for most players stored somewhere private and rarely seen again. The ring is different. It is designed to be worn. It is designed to be seen. It is custom-fitted to the individual recipient. It features diamonds and sapphires. It has their nation's identity on one side and the World Cup trophy on the other. It is individually numbered and accompanied by a certificate of authenticity. Every ring will be individually numbered, custom-fitted for each recipient, and accompanied by a certificate of authenticity, marking a historic addition to the World Cup's list of honors. For a player like Lautaro Martinez or Pedri, whoever wins on Sunday, this ring will sit on their finger at press conferences, at awards ceremonies, and in retirement photographs for the next 30 years. It will be the object their children ask about. It will be the first thing they reach for when someone asks them to prove they won the World Cup. That is not a gimmick. That is a legacy object. And football has never had one before. The case against is also worth making honestly, because the football purists are not simply resistant to change for its own sake. They are identifying something real about the relationship between the sport and its host nation that this World Cup has made unusually visible. Football's global appeal has always been partly based on its simplicity and its universality, a sport that requires nothing more than a ball and a patch of ground, that produces its own drama without needing halftime entertainment to fill the space, and that has developed its own distinct championship traditions across more than a century without borrowing from any other sport. The championship ring is American. The halftime show is American. The hydration breaks resemble American tactical timeouts. The sitting U.S. president is at the final, and the tournament was hosted in America. Every one of those things is individually defensible. Together, they represent a degree of American cultural influence on a single World Cup tournament that is unprecedented, and the fans asking whether football is being permanently reshaped by its temporary American home are asking a question that deserves a straight answer rather than dismissal. Let's hope that USA get tired of football fast is not a reasonable position. But the underlying anxiety about whether the sport's identity is being traded for commercial reach in the world's largest economy is a legitimate conversation that FIFA has not yet had transparently with the sport's global fanbase. Sunday, July 19th at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Spain versus Argentina. Messi versus Lamine Yamal. Donald Trump in attendance. A 30-minute halftime show. Championship rings with diamonds and sapphires waiting in a box for whoever lifts the trophy. The most American World Cup final in football history. And 10 million people who signed a petition about refereeing this week who will be watching every decision Slavko Vincic makes from the opening whistle. Drop a comment below telling us where you stand on the championship rings. Are they a brilliant addition to football's greatest occasion or the moment FIFA went too far in Americanizing the sport? And tell us your prediction for Sunday, Spain or Argentina, and what score. Subscribe and turn on notifications because we are publishing our full reaction video within the hour of the final whistle on Sunday. And whatever happens at MetLife Stadium, this World Cup has given us more stories, more controversies, and more talking points than any tournament in recent memory. Share this video with every football fan in your life before Sunday, because the debate about the rings is the conversation everyone is having right now, and they all need to see both sides of it before the match kicks off.